Last time on Critnet, the group found out more of what the Deodovan were doing deep in the fracture. They were designing escape pods hardy enough to survive a cataclysm that the group soon found out was about to affect them all. A fracture is to destroy Hopel and several capitals in the world all at once. They also discovered that the Silvered Shade is to blame for all the fractures, which led to Ellanya reaching out to him and calling him forth. He answered the call, and the group demanded answers as to why he was doing all this. And he told them because he saw the need for a common foe to the world, and he would become that in the name of uniting the world under one banner, or destroying it all should they fail. Given 1 hour before catastrophe, the Shade has now brought the group to the surface, inside the grand hall of the Sillonaras, of which now the group stands before. How are they going to explain this one? Hello everybody, and welcome to Critnet. Why don't you all introduce yourselves?
Hey, this is Chris. I'm Ghastgar.
Hey, this is James. I'm playing Kruz.
Hi, this is Lola. I'll be playing as Ellanya.
Hey, I'm Riggs, and I'm Parker Prax.
I'm the interrupting one. I'm Elliot. I'm the one playing Vall.
And I'm Sawyer, and I'll be your DM. Yeah, I'm sorry too. Now, you guys all right now are in the Sillonaran throne room, around this massive marble throne. In front of you sits the Sillonara upon his throne, looking down upon you. Beside him, 6 guards now suddenly pull up their rifles right to you, glowing lines now shooting down to the barrel, bright lights beginning to appear in the barrels, leveled at you. The Silonara stands up from his throne quickly and goes for his weapon by his side, a unique saber of very, very complicated make. One of you is very familiar with this particular saber, as you were the one who crafted it for him. And as he does, you hear, "Who goes there?"
I'm going to step up and I'm actually going to pull out my sigil and I'm going to bow in front of him and say, "Old friend, it is me."
You see the sword come out of its sheath. Him look down, scanning across. "Kruz, is that you?"
I stand up and I say, "Of course it's me," and I toss him my emblem.
He does not catch it as it hits beside him and falls down the stairs back to the base of the throne. And he looks and he scans over the rest of the group, and his eyes fall upon your very dark friend, the Silvered Shade. "You look different, Kruz. You're a little more spiky than the last time we met. Who is everybody?"
I've been through a lot. And I'm going to turn, I'm going to say, the short one. That's Ghastgar.
Less interested in the living ones, more interested in the dark one.
Sire, I have to tell you, outside of the dark one, these are my trusted friends. The dark one has brought us here somewhat against our will, but I have to tell you, it's urgent. We need to evacuate this entire city. Everything and everyone. That abomination is what's causing the fractures, and we have very little time until he fractures this entire city.
You see his hand immediately raise at the ready.
Killing him is not going to stop it. In fact, there's no weapon in this room that will harm him. Can he see the floating light in his chest?
No, his cloak is over that.
Then I'm going to point at him and say, that abomination, that thing that calls himself the Silver Shade is the reason there's no magic in this world. All of it. Every last ounce of magic is within his body. He is using it to cause the fractures and unknown terrors on the surface world. Sire, I am begging you, as your best friend, as your retired vice general, as the boy that grew up with you, I am begging you to listen to me. I am here to save everyone I possibly can. I need you to order these soldiers to evacuate the city. I need you to reach out to the guild and order them to help. We need all hands on deck to get this city clear of civilians and any other personnel we possibly can to launch a counteroffensive when we have them safe. So I would not be here exposing myself to the world after everything we've been through. I wanted to stay dead, and now I can't.
You see the Silonara look conflicted, severely and sorely conflicted. His eyes go from you, Kruz, back to the shade, and then kind of to each one of you individually, still seeming to wrestle, not at all dropping his guard.
While Kruz was having that plead,
You're muted, dummy.
As Kruz was having that plea to them, I'm going to cast a cantrip message to Vall, and the message is going to be, scout us and exit.
I can send back a simple reply, correct?
Yes.
What do you think I've been doing?
At that point, I'll kind of like wink at you.
I will glare at you. As if like, what do you think I do for a living?
With you two having exchanged glances, the Silonara lowers his hand and points with his saber to the shade. Why do you think we should trust you?
I'm going to stand up in front of him and I'm not saying I'm saying not to trust him. I'm telling you.
Why do you think we should trust in the threat? Why do you think we should believe what he can do? What you can do? And it's at this moment that you see the shade kind of move past you. Ellanya, he was standing next to you in particular. Moving past and kind of through you all, Kruz, he comes to stand next to you. He looks up at the Silonara. And at that, beneath your feet, you see like the shadow of the shade, like his cloak, begin to almost melt off of him and continue in this liquid that kind of flows around all of your feet. As it continues along the floor, it heads towards the throne, towards the guards. The guards, still hands on their weapons, pointed directly at him. You see it begin to hit the walls, the pillars, and rise up, taking out all the light of the throne room. You see it rise up the pillars to the ceiling, to the roof, until the entirety of the throne room is suddenly engulfed in darkness. Flashes of light as bangs go off, as rifles are fired from in front.
When everything goes dark, Ghastgar pulls out a few of his spheres and kind of just scatters them on the ground to create some light.
The light does not appear. And it's at this that the silvered shade, the visage, melts into the surrounding darkness as well. And from the roof itself, you see the skeletal face of liquid metal form. Looking down at what would be literal roof-sized visage of the shade, you hear him call out, "This is my one warning. You will leave your throne." 3 more rifle shots go up into the visage, passing harmlessly through it, and one ricocheting off of a similar pillar, hitting the roof, scattering bits and pieces of marble. You see the Silonara now backed into his throne, saber raised.
Are we able to move at all?
You're able to move if you wish.
Kruz is going to be, the next thing you guys see is just Kruz in front of his best friend, the Silonara, and he is going to have his shield up and his sword drawn, facing the silvered shade. I am there to defend my best friend.
This is the demonstration of my power. You will go now. Take your people from this city. It will be nothing but overrun by monsters in less than an hour. On this threat, I base my power. You may bet your life in your town, your city, and your country on the foolishness of your heart. Or you now can leave and give them a chance.
And you see the darkness recede once again, flowing back into the central figure of the silvered shade, standing where Kruz had also been standing. The guards on the side, their rifles still smoking, level it at the shade again, but the Silonara raises hand quickly in a halt. Does anyone do anything?
Is there any way that Ellanya can give a Magitech drive to the Silver Shade?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna do that. Should I do it stealthily, or should I just hand it to him?
That's up to you.
Okay, because he can't get back down without it.
He has all the magic in the world directly in his chest. I don't think he needs a Magitech drive.
He's also a projection, remember?
When he became to the surface, he couldn't project on the surface because of all the magic was gone from the surface, so he had to come up himself. That's him.
Are you sure on that?
Yep. Yeah.
It's a theory.
Okay.
Well, I robbed him while we were still in the fracture.
That's true.
Kruz is going to turn to the Emperor and say, look, you are my friend before you are the Emperor, but this country cannot survive without you. We need to get you and the people out. There's no time to argue with this. There's only two choices here. Escape, or we all die. And I hate to say this, but I'm not leaving here without you. If you stay here to die, then I'm here with you.
I've envisioned Ghastgar just kind of sitting on the ground the entire time, and you see Ghastgar stand up to his feet. Emperor guy, forgive my irreverence, but what is more important? Your kingdom or your life? Your throne? Your position? Your seat of royalty? Your political power and ambition? Or the life of the people whom you rule over? And I want to be abundantly clear, that includes those who may be your enemies or rivals. You are still their emperor, and regardless of how much of a knee they desire to bow to you or how much influence they may have in your courts. But at the end of the day, they are your subjects, whether that's begrudgingly or not. So what is more important? The lives of everyone whom you rule and serve, or your position in your pride? Get people out and pull people together and beat him.
You see the Silonara, Kruz having taken a defensive stance behind you, listening to you, Ghastgar, without taking his eyes off of the shade. My people are the most important thing to me. I do not care for crowns, I do not care for power, I do not care for titles. I do all of this for them.
Great. Now let's get everybody out.
Kruz, he takes a step in front of you and looks to you. Don't make me regret this.
As long as you're alive, there's nothing to regret.
The Silonara takes the steps down from his marble throne. Passing you, he goes and stands before the shade. The guards, he waves them off, and they place their weapons at their side, begrudgingly, eyes still trained and narrowed on this creature. At this time, the silvered shade reaches out a hand, and you see the pained confliction within the Silonara's expression. But you see him reach up, remove his crown, and place it in the hand of the shade. The shade, taking the crown, then begins to move past him and turns at the base of the throne to the rest of you. Taking it, you all watch him place it upon his head. As he does so, the gold, gem-encrusted crown suddenly turns black, as if ebony metal was suddenly liquefied and flowing over it. From it, you see spikes begin to protrude about 11 inches above his head in 4 different directions. You see small chains begin to form down along the edge of the crown itself, leading down to these blocks of metal. Larger and larger they grow, till you'd imagine they weigh about 20 pounds each. There's about 6 of them that hang from this crown upon his head. And as he does so, you do see him physically begin to kind of lean forward under the weight of it. And he looks out to the rest of you.
You have 30 minutes. I must say, power is not of metal circlets or useless titles anymore. Now is the time for the crucible of war to consume the slag of humankind. What is left shall be put to the stone and fashioned anew. In 1 year's time, the blade shall be brought to bear against me. Should it slay me?
Sorry.
We gotta leave all of those in.
Yep.
I die in the knowledge that I trust those who wield it. If it shatters against me, then there shall be no hand left to hold any weapon ever again. I leave the fate of this world for the many to decide. But there is one whose family I will not allow this decision to any more than one.
Looking over to all of you, motioning Kruz for you to join the rest of them.
I'm going back to stand next to the Emperor.
Okay. The Emperor, decrowned and dethroned, stands amongst you. And as the shade looks out all of you,
I trust that you have the capabilities of uniting this world. Kruz, the Reinhardt, embodiment of the disgraced. Ghastgar, the godling, blood of the betrayer. Vall, the soul, mysterious and unknown to those of the world. Parker, the heart, passionate and true to those around him. Ellanya, the past, alive to change the course of the future. You all represent the things that I believe will be able to unite this world. You have 30 minutes.
I'm going to look back at him and say, no, you're going to give us a full hour. We need more than enough time to get the people out.
About how high up are we?
We're ground level. The throne room's ground level.
I was about to say ground level?
Ground level? Really? For a
Yeah.
throne?
You just walk up the stairs through the giant doors, walk straight into the throne room.
Wow. This is a terrible throne room.
Oh, you're saying as opposed to like the street level?
Oh, no, we're not street level.
Is that what you're going for?
I just wanted to know exactly how long it would take me to get streetwise and sprinting.
Oh, to the street and sprinting. Oh, there is a stained glass window to your left that you could, in fact, jump through. The ground level from there is about 15 feet down.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay.
Vall raises his hand, gives a quick salute, and dashes through the window.
Okay. Shattering through the window, Vall disappears in a flash of black fur, glass, metal, and is gone.
I've always wanted to do that.
And where might a safe place be for these people to go to?
Out the main gates. Directly, so out the doors, castle, directly down the Imperial Road, straight to the out gates. There's a road from the gates of the city directly to the castle. Straight line. Go down that road, straight out of the city.
You see the Sillonaras look and nod in agreement.
I would like to take one of my spheres that I have that can have a simple recorded message on it. And I will let you declare if this is true or not. I've always kind of envisioned them able to kind of levitate and float.
Yeah.
Okay. And I would like to take out the 5 of them that I have at the moment, do a little bit of tinkering on them with my armor of tools that I've been wearing for a while now, and make the speakers on them super freaking loud.
So are they enchanted with amplify?
They're speakers. I'm tinkering. After I am done tinkering with them, I turn to Silonara and say, give a simple message of evacuation to your people. Say it into this orb.
You see him look at you. Excuse me. My bad, and apologies. You see him look at the orb and look to you. My dearest people of Hopel, please evacuate the city immediately. There is going to be a fracture that assaults the city soon. We need everybody out as fast as can be.
Perfect. Perfect. Thank you. That's all I can hold. And I grab the orbs and I chuck them up. Like, is there a glass ceiling? Does he have like a glass ceiling? That'd be savage.
Sure, he has a glass ceiling.
Okay. I would like to kind of adjust them to levitate up above that ceiling, and I chuck them up that way, and I shoot the glass to break the glass where they're going.
Okay. Avoiding the falling glass, you were able to do so.
Okay, cool. And they start blaring the message.
The message begins to be echoed throughout the cities of Hopel. Even from here, you can begin to hear people beginning to scramble, and outside, you hear this like horns of several different steam carts. Jeez. You hear the different horns of several different steam carts suddenly begin to go off and begin to blaze through the streets around you, through mainly the open window now from Vall. Thank you, Vall. At this, the Shade, in regards to the rest of you, begins to walk past you now, kind of hobbling as he does, and just walk through you all towards the door.
Kruz is going to put his shield up in front of the Emperor to, like, guard him from the Silver Shade.
And the Shade will continue. The Sillonaras suddenly turns to his guards. Inform the town. I want everybody out of here now.
Does Kruz see Ludicius in the room at all?
No. And the Shade continues on towards the large doors, unless anyone else wants to stop him or say anything else.
As he passes by me, bit dramatic, wasn't it?
You haven't even seen the grandeur.
At that, when he's done saying bit dramatic, don't you? That's going to be Kruz's cue to grab the Emperor, start running by. Parker, let's go. Ellanya, let's go. And he's going to swoop Ghastgar up with his tail and start sprinting out the door, hauling the Emperor by hand.
Ghastgar, do you allow this?
Yeah, I do.
A bit dramatic. Wink!
Before Ellanya follows Kruz, she's going to take one last glance at the Silvered Shade, catch his eye before she runs behind him.
Okay. Ellanya, as you pass by and you meet the Eye of the Shade, you see him similar to when you had said down in the fracture that you would never be mad at him. The rest are running by, but his eyes, or at least where his eyes would be, seem to train on you as you go by. And you do see, similar to when you had said that previously, liquid tears kind of flowing out of his sockets and down into his skull again, and kind of in this constant flow, seeming to also struggle with the weight of his crown as he continues on.
As we do leave, Parker will stop and look back at him and go, "It is unfortunate that we leave on these terms, but do know that 1 year from now, we will take you down. We will end you."
You see him attempt to straighten up before kind of bending once again.
I hope with all of my being your words ring true, Parker Prax.
And then I'll take a small bow, and I will run off after Kruz.
Part of me wants to say, play us out, Parker.
I appreciate that. You know what? Are you going to do it?
Yeah, so I'm going to just holler, Parker, play us out of here.
Yeah, I'll pull out my violin and do some Benny Hill kind of stuff.
I was thinking of, what's that song, On the Road again?
Actually, there is something that, if there is a moment to question the Silvered Shade, briefly, albeit briefly. You said blood of the betrayer. Who is that?
Ooh. Running by in the tail of Kruz, shouting this at him.
We can retcon this.
Okay.
Yeah, I do not allow Kruz to just wander away from me, and I wander up to the Silvered Shade.
Okay.
You said I am the blood of the betrayer. Who is the betrayer? Who am I?
Kruz is gonna stop at sliding. He's gonna let go of the Emperor, run back right when he answers that. So right when if he gets an answer or not, Kruz is gonna try to swoop up Ghastgar again.
Sorry, I'm processing what would be said here.
You're adopted.
What? I'm adopted? This is a unique situation. I don't even know who my adoption parents are, let alone my birth parents.
Apart the veil even more, your adopted parents were also orphans, so this has added. This has been a long working machination of just orphan after orphan. I have killed so many parents to ensure that this combination of distilled orphanry resulted in you, Ghastgar.
So
Okay.
are you my daddy?
I'm your mother.
Your mother!
Twice removed.
I was gonna say, if he says to the Silvered Shade, "Are you my daddy?"
Your mother!
We're making that canon. Ghastgar is Vall's son.
Don't tell him. I have to pay things.
All that back child support.
Not happening.
Meanwhile, the Wandering Wizard theme that is our funny song is playing in the background.
All right. The Shade looks down at you, Ghastgar.
As opposed to up, because gravity.
All right. Ghastgar.
I can sense it on you. The divineling. Dang it! I'm trying to make that.
Sorry.
Who's got the slurping sound going on in the background?
Also that, yes. Lola.
I'm not drinking anything. You can see me.
My house is quiet.
Sawyer?
Sawyer? I can't tell because he has the hand thing up all the time. What the heck?
I can never forget the scent of my greatest enemy. This is why I chose you, Ghastgar. You will rectify his mistakes. You know of who I speak.
What was the name of that god again? That you spoke about with us like 10 minutes ago?
No one.
Dang it. My money was on Castiel. That's what I was hoping. I guess I'll have to live with this.
The things you did in your previous life do not define you.
I don't even know what they are. So, But as for you, the mistakes of your family don't have to define you either.
They do not.
Yeah, they do. Live with that. Bye. At this point, I go and jump onto Kruz's shoulder. All right, horsey, giddy up.
Kruz is gonna bolt back and grab the Emperor.
Okay. Grabbing the Emperor, you hit the large doors that lead into the rest of Hopel. Throwing them open, the Silonara is shouting orders to the nearby guards. Behind you all, the Shade is slowly walking, step by step. And as he exits into the open air of Hopel, you already see the confusion and chaos from your messages, Ghastgar, as people are beginning to realize what is going on and that this is in fact an evacuation. People are grabbing everything they can as fast as they can and just running down the main road to the west and trying to get out as fast as possible. You see merchants closing up shop. You see people just grabbing their bags and just heading out as fast as possible. As in the Pen Feather District, this is usually the people who are ready to go with their fold-up shops. They're all beginning this very quick mass exodus as fast as they can. However, those who look up and they see the face and the visage of the Silvered Shade shout in fear and begin to run even faster away than the others. But he continues into the crowd, and you can see a palpable part in it as he continues on through the Pin Feather District in his walking, shambling sense.
How far away from him are we at the moment?
At the moment, Kruz, where are you going?
I have the Emperor and Ghastgar, and as we are running down the main street going to the main city gates, I'm just yelling, everyone out of the city, evacuate, as I'm pulling them along. And I'm expecting the Emperor to be doing the same. I guess I've kind of let go of the Emperor, like I'm picking up small kids that have fallen over, I'm putting them back on their feet, I'm rushing everyone in front of me out, I'm yelling. It's an evacuation, a chaotic one at first, and I'm yelling, meet outside the city, everybody outside the city gates.
Okay. Ghastgar, the answer to you is 60 feet.
Oh, would like to pull out my hunting rifle and take a shot at the Silvered Shade. He told us to try to kill him.
Please roll to hit.
And I'm using my sharpshooter feat that is newly acquired. So that is a 17 to hit.
17 does hit. Roll damage.
14 damage.
Ghastgar, as you fire, your shot rings out and everyone around you ducks. The crowd parts. The bullet races forward and careens into the shade. You see him knocked to his side, him stumble several feet to his right and fall to the ground.
Is he on like my head doing this? Because I still had him.
Oh yeah, your ears are ringing as a rifle shot rings out point blank from your ear.
Ghastgar, warn somebody!
I hit him.
Not important as my ears ring.
And the shade stands up and continues walking.
I cock my gun. This is your warning. And I fire again. The 20 to hit.
That hits. Roll damage.
19.
Firing again. Your bullet hits the shade. As it does, you see a incorporeal ripple to his right as the bullet hits and it bounces harmlessly into the air. Possibly harmlessly. I mean, it's now flying through the air towards a destination that maybe someone might get hit with. There's a lot of people running around here. So hopefully not, but, hopefully it'll land on a roof or something. But as your shot rings out for the second time, Parker.
It might be a little too late, but can Parker see Vall anywhere?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. It was likely, but...
Huum is gone.
I will give you a hint. As soon as I broke through that window, I started humming.
Oof, okay. I just wanted to keep eye on Vall. I'm assuming like Ellanya, Ghastgar, and Kruz are all nearby.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Ghastgar, in your head, you do hear...
A good shot, but I won't be taken out that easily.
If you were, it'd be very anticlimactic. But for a guy who wants to die, you should have just died.
The world must be tested. I cannot be killed before it comes to the test.
Tests always sucked. I should know. I woke up in a laboratory.
Well, the shade continues on, and it's interesting. As you guys all see him, he is walking perpendicular to the crowd, and he is walking north of the city. Right now, people are shouting, screaming, running. There is mass chaos.
As we run through the city, Parker sees people who are having trouble getting out of the city or moving along. He was going to stop and help them.
Okay. Doing so, you are getting separated from the rest of your group. Ellanya, is there anything in particular you'd like to do?
I am going to pull out kind of like this bag, and I'm going to put it on my back. I'm going to put a magic tech drive into it, and I'm going to have Walter come out to help get more people to safety.
Okay.
Can I provide some sort of help action to that? Do we have a perspective on the city at all? Or is Kruz flying, or is Kruz just on the ground running?
Kruz right now is on the ground running. However, it would probably behoove you if you wanted to go into the air. Let's see. Vall, do you want what you do to be shown or not?
We can pull back the veil. Why not?
Okay. Vall, you make it to the guild hall as fast as your legs can carry you. Bursting through the door, you run into the Guild of No One, where you find, unsurprisingly, your group lazing around in chairs. You see Commander Sutanin standing over a lazily boiling pot of water, asleep against the side wall, seeming having fallen asleep, waiting for the water to boil.
I'm going to go over and tip the boiling water over.
It's splashing on the ground and getting onto some of his pants. He immediately shoots up.
Commander,
Vall.
we are in the beginnings of a conflict.
And he begins to respond in Thieves' Cant. How big is conflict?
There's a fracture beginning to form. We have a handful of minutes at best.
Looking to the rest of them, he claps. Immediately, all of their heads turn. That is the one thing Commander Sutanin can do to gain the attention of all of those around him. You see him begin to sign in Thieves' Cant. Must leave now. Immediate danger. And they begin to pack up everything by this point. And when I say I mean everything. They begin to start taking things that probably aren't as important, such as silverware, cups, the doors to the drawers, a pipe.
I will clap him on the shoulder and bring him in close. Make eye contact with Commander. Loot what you can.
He nods. Any stash?
I would say the inner city, if you can make it right now. If people are smart and less greedy, they will be dropping everything they own. Other than that, I would prioritize middle city and then the outer ring for last.
He turns to his people who are right now trying to figure out how to shove a pillow cushion into a bag. Claps.
What?
They take everything, okay? They're not picky.
We're really not.
Yeah. And they all look to him again, and he signs in Thieves' Cant what you had relayed to him. Inner city first. Big score.
And while we're going on with this this back and forth, Huum has taken the package he received from My Name Is far earlier and begins to open it, looking for what's inside.
Okay. As you pull the package, you're able to find your crossbow. Having now been enhanced several-fold, range has increased by 30, and damage has increased by 1 die, which also would apply to your javelin.
The giant bolts? Holy crap.
Yep. Your armor that you had sent to be... You had sent armor as well, correct?
I had commissioned new armor.
Yes. It is at a +2 now.
Ooh. Got some new plating on it. All right.
Yep. If I recall correctly, those were the two main things, but there was a third one.
There's a third one. We can keep that for later.
Wonderful. Having now outfitted yourself with your new toys, the rest of them dropping the couch cushion and now following Commander out of the door. And something I just realized, hey, guess what? Relic! Dadgummit is still with you guys.
Poor Relic.
Poor Relic, he gets forgotten a lot. I'm sorry.
It's the curse of DM PCs.
It really is. That's why we didn't do this in the first place. As you all hit the door, open it up, and begin to make your way out into the city, Relic turns to you all.
I'm gonna go get everybody from the guild hall. I'm gonna tell them to meet us on the outside and help us defend whatever comes out of the new fracture. I'll see if I can meet up with you afterwards.
Coming back to Ellanya's idea of having Walter help people get out of the city, Ghastgar leans over to Kruz. Take flight for a moment. We need to get a perspective on the city. This street is getting too crowded, and we're not going to get people out fast enough if they keep all coming down here. I have an idea of what we can do in order to get others out, but I need a perspective on the city. Fly!
Is the Emperor close to the exit of the city?
Heading in the way you guys are, with the crowds and with everybody, it will probably take about 30 minutes to get to the outskirts of the city at this point.
I'm going to quickly bat my wings and go straight up. I can go 45 feet straight up in the air.
Okay. Well, what does a nat 20 on a perception check give me?
Jeez! Natural 20! With a natural 20, you are able to look around and you're able to see everything. You're able to see the people in chaos. You're able to see the ripple effect of the people informing others, going further and further. The entirety of the Pinfeather district right now is emptying through the gate into the Swarf district. You can even see through the Swarf district now, down the line of the main road. You see the fringes of people beginning to join and pour out from the buildings like liquid. And you can see the Shade making his way north. At this point, most of the people have begun to fade around him. The crowds are beginning to dissipate, having all made their way around, and he is continuously walking northward.
Alright. The Shade is moving northward, and I'm gonna guess he's gonna rip this fracture open north to south. So, that means anybody who is on the other side of him needs to be evacuating out of the city the other way. Do I see another exit of the city that could ferry a large number of people that would be, if we're heading west, heading east?
You are able to see a separate gate. There is, I guess, it's not really much of a gate. It's more of a special occasion kind of entrance into the city that had been previously used for guests of honor, kind of behind the Sillonaran palace. It leads straight out into the rest of everything. It doesn't look like it could fit a heck of a lot of people. Hopel is kind of a city designed to be defended by one entrance.
Okay, then the other question would be, is there some sort of alternative routes that people are not taking, some side roads and such that would be leading towards that main gate, so to help congestion and flow?
By this point, there's such a flood of people that every street at this time is pretty darn full. It seems as though it's just the mass amount of people is backing up from side street by side street by side street. There's just so many people going towards one place where it's almost like a gridlock system where things right now are just getting filled. Now there's carts, there's steam carts, you can see oxen, you can just see all kinds of these larger pieces of transportation that are helping the blockages. You can see several of them that have been abandoned at this time, are just being run around.
Okay, so am I correct then? If we were able to deal with those, it would greatly improve traffic flow?
Yes.
Okay. I recall my orbs because I don't think they're necessary anymore. And I record a new message and I send it out to send one to my other companions who aren't directly with me and let them know that we need to get rid of these blockages and more or less where they're at.
You're sending this to the others?
Yes. So one to Ellanya, one to Parker. I don't know where Huum Vall is. I send one to Relic because I know where he's going.
Okay.
If you will allow that.
Yes, these things do have a fair range, and I mean the kind of propeller mechanism that allows them to fly can work for quite some time.
Okay.
Okay. Your orbs dissipate. Ellanya, Parker, two of them appear next to you and begin to explain to you that the carts are beginning to block the roadways, and getting rid of those would be extremely helpful.
How close am I to Guild No One?
To the guild hall?
Yeah.
Running back, you're about 15 minutes.
Ooh, that's too far. Okay, I'm I'm gonna telepathically let Walter know to start heading towards those blockages. And I'm gonna head towards one of them.
Okay. Getting there, it's a cart filled with marble statues. It seems though it had been pushed here by a merchant and then left when realization of it being too heavy and clumsy to get through the crowd.
Does it have like one of those posts in the front to pull it?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna shapeshift to a saber-toothed tiger, and Walter and I are both gonna grab that and pull it.
Okay. Shape-shifting, grabbing onto it, you hear the wheels creaking behind you. Parker, what are you gonna do?
As I see Ellanya doing this, I'm actually going to give her a bardic inspiration in case she needs to roll anything.
Hey!
Ooh, okay.
Someone remembered he's a bard.
How do you inspire Ellanya?
A wink and a nod.
Ah, the bard forgot how to bard.
No. I remember Kruz told me to play him out, so I've had my violin this whole time awkwardly.
Yep.
Shh, don't judge me.
I love that so much.
You just back at people with the...
I'm trying to think of a nice tune to play. What would Ellanya want to hear?
Ellanya's music.
Yeah.
I will start to play Ellanya's theme song.
Meta! I love it. Ellanya, at the sound of your theme song that you didn't know you had, you are filled with inspiration.
Okay.
I love it. And it's interesting, Parker, as the people around you are hearing the music, they all seem to be running faster. Just a little bit.
I'm not playing that bad, am I?
Wow, rude.
No, you're playing that well, actually.
Okay.
You know what? Roll a performance check.
Ooh.
Oh, roll high, roll high.
Canonically even good.
Oh, okay, so that is a 17 on the die for a total of 28.
With a 28 people around you, it's just like if you were running on a treadmill, you throw in your headphones and you just feel the music. People around you are what?
This is maybe super meta, but would getting him above 30 make this a dramatically better experience?
What?
Because I can get him above 30.
You know what? Yes, it would.
Seeing that his music is just fire right now, I send one of the remaining orbs that I have with me in amplifier mode and give him a +5 to that roll with my flash of genius.
Total of 33.
33 with 2 boombox speakers over you. The people around you suddenly begin to do things very familiar to you, Parker. You see them begin to take mirthful leaps as people are now jumping into the air. Your magic of the song beginning to empower them, and you see the people around you in about a 60-foot radius just leaping up over these carts, trying to get around them, just absolutely flying, and they are all going significantly faster. People right now are getting out of the city thanks to your amazing music and Ghastgar, your amplification of it. Well done, well done. You see this like 10-year-old girl take like a running leap and just jump like 15 feet in the air in a nice long curve. Just runs along the side of one of the freaking buildings, lands down, and then just continues to snake through the crowd.
So, Matrix jump or Naruto jump?
A Matrix Naruto jump.
Like a Titanfall wall run.
Yes, like a Titanfall wall run. And then continue on.
This is acceptable.
Ellanya, you're able to remove the cart from the arterial roadway. People running by you. You've cleared out a good large cart from here, and people are definitely showing. And then from the alleyway in which you would store this, you look back and you see just these humanoids jumping and leaping from just in front of the kind of entryway into the alley. And the sound of the violin inspires you as well.
Okay, how close is the next blockage to me?
It is 25 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna start heading towards that next blockage with Walter. We're gonna keep working on getting those out of the way.
Perfect. Roll a strength check.
If you need to, you can add an extra D8 to that as well for your bardic inspiration.
Jeez. And roll with advantage given Walter.
Okay. That was a 5 plus what for the bardic inspiration?
You roll a D8. Or do you want me to roll it? I'll roll it.
Yeah, go for it.
That is a +4.
Okay. Did you roll with advantage, Ellanya?
No, I will do that right now. D20. 4.
9.
I can do it again.
It's up to you.
Oh, goodness. What would be the...
That'd only be a 14, not worth it.
I don't know, man. I think anything that gets these people out might be worth it. So what exactly are they having move? Or are they moving?
This next one is a 10-foot wide cart that is absolutely filled with metal statues that has been abandoned by the side.
Marble.
The first one is
No,
marble.
these ones are metal.
Oh.
I throw a vial of grease from my tinkering gear out onto the ground at that cart, like in front of it, to give them something, a little grease to push it along.
Okay. I don't know if...
I'm gonna slide on the grease and ram into the
I was about to say, I don't know if that's gonna help the cart move or them slip.
Sorry.
Yep.
As Parker sees Ellanya and Walter kind of struggle with this cart, can I blast it?
With?
My Eldritch Blast?
Yes, you may. Roll to hit, sir.
All right, 2 hit. That's a total of 24. Does 24 hit?
That hits. That hits a large cart. It's a broadside of a barn.
So, as the 2 beams leave the palm of my hand and shoot this cart, the cart will take a total of 20 damage.
And what kind of damage is this?
Force.
Which means it's doubled because it's against an object. It careens into the cart. Ellanya, the cart that you were just about to start to try to move, is disintegrated by these 2 blasts.
I'm about to release that handful of grease, and I pull it back.
Shattered to the side. What was a music shop, kind of to the side, not your family's music shop, not yours, suddenly has shrapnel shot through the windows, and the rest of the cart kind of crashes through the door. But it's out of the roadway.
Goodbye, Guitar Center.
Parker feels bad, but that's a competitor, so they need to go down anyway.
Got him.
Capitalism.
What are you talking about? This is a literal metal moment.
That's not capitalism. That's corporate warfare.
So with that, Kruz, Ghastgar, you are both in the air. Is there anything you are doing?
You said the Silver Sage or Silver Shade was heading to the north. The north is the Rhine Metal District. Is he heading towards the Rhine Metal District?
Seems as though that is in fact where he's heading.
Since I am in the air, can I see if anybody in the Rhine Metal District is trying to escape, or are they locked in?
At this point, you're not able to see anybody coming out of the Rhine Metal District yet. Which is strange, given the fact that people should be coming out of there by this point.
How far away is the Silver Shade from the Rhine Metal District?
You'd be able to surmise that he's about 10 minutes at his current pace.
I can see the Emperor, right? Like, he should be just below me, right?
No, you've lost the Emperor.
I'm gonna do everything I can to relocate the Emperor.
Please roll a perception check.
Oh, that's a 19 plus 4, so 23.
With a 23, you're able to see him. He's been moved and pushed by the crowd further down. However, he and 5 other guards are now coercing on the side. He's beginning to direct them to run further down into the Swarf District and beginning to kind of orchestrate a little bit more of a crossing guard style where the guards are kind of orchestrating the influx of people a little bit more between them.
I'm going to swoop down to him and I'm going to say, sorry, the Silver Shade's heading towards the Rhine Metal District. It's about 10 minutes away. We have 10 minutes until the fracture is going to rip this place open. You have to get out.
If we have 10 minutes, then that is 9 more than I can spend in the city making sure my people get out.
You're 15 minutes away from the gate. Let's go. I'm gonna nudge Ghastgar on my head. Ghastgar, do you have another one of those speaker thingies?
Yes, I do have one more because I sent 2 for the amplification, so I have one more.
Can the Emperor speak into it and it amplify his voice?
Yes.
Good. I'm going to grab the Emperor and I'm going to go directly back up in the air. And I'm going to say, Ghastgar, give it to him.
Guy, give it to him.
And I'm going to say, spout your directions from here. We are flying to the exit. Now we're a flying, what is that, a microphone?
Okay, I'm sorry, but you're gonna have to call this high or low right now.
There's nothing micro about either of you. You're a megaphone.
Megaphone, thank you.
Bullhorn.
Megaphony.
Okay, please call it high or low.
Hi.
High? Okay, you're good.
Okay, phew.
The Silonara, in time, is able to reach his hand back and wave off the guards who immediately raise weapons towards you. Ergo, you just ripped the Emperor off the ground and is now flying with him with no explanation.
I just made an explanation.
They didn't know that. With that in mind, you're up in the air, spout your directions, you see him look down and begin to, in a larger sense, direct his people with the artificial megaphone you've... Is there a natural megaphone? Excuse me. With the megaphone you have given him. I just got a good bumper crop of megaphones in. They're looking real good this season.
People did use ram horns to amplify their voice at one point in history, so you can say that's a natural megaphone.
You know what? I will give that to you. With that, his voice echoes across, and you see even more people beginning to exit the city. Ellanya, at this point, most of the major blockages that have been choking this area have been cleared. You are still in tiger form, and Walter beside you is waiting your orders.
Hey, have I made my way any closer to the guild hall, or am I further away from it at this point?
You've only moved about 80 feet further in towards this way, which is a little bit further away from the guild hall, but not a heck of a lot.
Is the guild hall closer or further away than where the fracture's being created?
You don't know exactly where the fracture's going to be created, but going towards the guild hall seems to be closer to the heart of the city, where it could appear. It's very difficult to tell.
Okay, sorry, and then one more question. How far away is Relic from me?
Relic, by this point, having been running his poor turtle legs, he's about 400 feet away from you.
Okay. Then I'm just gonna look around me for a moment and keep looking for people that are like straggling or anything like that need help getting out of there as quickly as possible, and Walter's gonna do the same thing.
You two immediately take to helping a group of small children who have seemed to have lost their way and hopping them onto your back, perhaps, running them out of the city.
Parker's going to stay in the vicinity of Ellanya.
Okay. They're running pretty quickly. The people of Hopel are also kind of jumping a little bit at the sight of a tiger and saber-toothed tiger. They're definitely parting ways for you, Ellanya, just by the way.
The people of Hopel are tigerists.
The zoo has been broken into.
Just caddis.
The gazelles and chimpanzees will start coming out next.
And right now, Ellanya is a tigress.
Yes.
But I tigress. I'll show myself out.
With that, Parker, are you doing anything on top of that or just sticking close to Ellanya?
Just kind of offhand, you'll if you guys are looking at Parker, you'll kind of catch him offhand, just kind of stopping and just kind of like taking in the city like one kind of last time. It is his hometown, so like he knows it's gonna get ravaged here like any moment. So he's just kind of soaking in and kind of taking photographic memory of the remnants of the town before it does get like destroyed, essentially.
Okay. Well, 3 minutes go by. 4 minutes go by. 8 minutes go by. Vall, in particular, you would have been able to make your way back to the central area where most of the Pinfeather district is, with the rest of your company, if you so desire.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Having reached there, you guys find a dead and empty Pinfeather district. You do see people, like streams of people still running, but not nearly as hustle and bustle as it usually is. You see carts thrown open and then their goods just scattered on the ground. You see a plethora of goods just ready to be looted.
Commander Citadine, clear to commence operation. Leave nothing behind.
You see him rub his hands together. Permission granted. And you see them all spider off and start searching everything.
You know, I'm getting really big Penguins of Madagascar vibes.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Agreed, yeah.
Oh, man. Bandits of the Sadlands. Vall, are you joining in the looting?
I'm scavenging places where I think people will have forgotten to look.
Roll investigation.
Oh boy, it's been like the third time I've actually needed to roll for that. You know that problem when you hit the wrong button. That is a 15.
With a 15, you are able to find a lockbox underneath a stand that is still locked, and it looks as though someone was trying to fiddle with getting it open. There's scratch marks in front of the keyhole, and then the keys, you find them literally kicked underneath the stand. Taking them and opening up the lockbox, you're able to find 3 things. 1, a cred stick, which is worth 5,000 credits. 2, you're able to find a deed to the business. 3, you're able to find a gold bar, about a foot long.
I will take all 3.
Very good. At this, around the 5-minute mark, Ghastgar, Kruz, you see something on the horizon, far to your right. You see something rising from the Steamtop district. Something rising into the air. You see a semi-familiar sight. They come into Hopel every now and again. But from the air pad, you see a airship rise into the air and begin to turn and begin to move away from the city.
I'm going to alert the Emperor that the Dovidera are making their escape. Or Deodovin.
It's the Deodovin for the daggum millionth time.
Yes,
Yo,
the Dieter Pinklage.
Yes, the Peter Dinklage. Or Dinker
Yes,
Pinklage.
the Deodovin are making an escape. Looking back, the Emperor, well, it seems as though they have been alerted that this is happening. Perhaps they're just moving the ship so it doesn't go down with everything.
Sire.
They're saving their own butts instead of saving others. You know that, right? And I want to clue you in on something. That's the whole reason why the Silvered Shade is doing what he's doing, is the fact that people won't think about others.
How do you know there's not other people on the ship? There's a lot of Deodovin in the Steamtop district.
Yeah, they cared about themselves.
How many other people do you think you will be in that ship? And I tell you what, I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count.
The Deodovin have been good to the people of Hopel. For the time being, I will not throw their reputation so quickly away.
I'm glad you're hopeful of them. I've learned to be skeptical of people doing what is in the interest of others when they have great interests for themselves.
But the interest of the Deodovan were for the people.
Everyone's got a campaign speech. If we find that there's people in there, wonderful. I am skeptical is what I'm saying. I want to also clue you in on something that we found down in Mist and Sweat. That they were doing research as to predict when the next fracture was going to happen and where it could be. And they had a whole heck of a lot of information to suggest that it was going to be right here on this day. Did they tell you?
At this causes him to pause. They did not tell me. And when did you come across this information?
About an hour and 10 minutes ago, when we realized that, oh my gosh, they are predicting it for this particular day that it's going to happen. We've had some past interactions with the Silvered Shade that lent us to believe that he could hear us, and we asked for an audience, and he confirmed it and told us his desire was to be the enemy that everyone would unite around, and was thus going to rip apart the world. And more than anything, so you understand him, because he's actually not that bad of a guy. I actually don't think he's the real bad guy. The real bad guy is all of you political types who won't ever get along that motivates somebody like him.
The world is cruel, and the world has limited resources around us.
And that's the reason why people put knives in people's backs. Yes, I get it. Now, if you understand that, then you should also not be so naive to think that they are inherently doing all things for good when they could have warned about this potentially 5 years ago.
He definitely grows quiet after that.
We have the journal still. It's on one party member. If you want to read it later, by all means, you can read it. And any other information we found about that fracture. But for right now, keep spouting orders and get people out.
He nods and goes back to orchestrating his men. But Ghastgar, you are able to see in his furrowed brow a definite look of thoughtful concern.
I want to make it also abundantly clear to you that they might be good with the people and they might be good with you, but they're not good with the Reinhardts. And the Reinhardts are just as cruddy. So what really needs to happen is for all of you political types to get over your own agendas and to truly actually desire to work together for the benefit of others. Otherwise, the Silver Shade's just going to keep ripping holes in the world. So get over yourselves.
After today, I don't think the Reinhardt's going to be in much of an issue, seeing where the Silver Shade is starting everything. But I'm not saying they don't deserve it. Sire, they've been pulling a lot of experiments behind your back. I think you don't know about a third of what they've done.
When time isn't pressing, I'll tell you a little bit more of my experience with the Reinhardts and why I'm a freaking mongoose.
Are you going to blame the Reinhardts for turning you into a mongoose?
Yep, they turned me into a mongoose. Yep.
He continues to bark orders, but with every word you guys say, his concern grows into a mantle of shame. You see even his voice, or you hear even his voice waver at a time or two, commanding a soldier to go and do this or to do that. And you see him have to steel himself again and re-give the order.
I let him wrestle with that, but I would like to come back to it.
Okay. Vall, I'm gonna give you 3 more rolls of investigation.
You know what? That's more than fair.
As you hit up 3 more places.
Because investigating is only a side project at this point.
Yep.
So 3 more rolls, here they come. A terrible 10, a 22, and a 19.
Okay. For the 10, you find yourself at a textile stand. Absolutely brilliant, beautiful colored textiles. Unfortunately, all of it made in the southern Sandlands. Not really worth all that much.
Oh, for the love of.
Continuing on to the next, you're able to find a jewelry stand. With a 22, you're able to find their small stash of diamonds that they had set aside and underneath. This small stash of diamonds holds 20 diamonds of a appraisal you don't know.
This is true.
The largest of them being as large as your fingernail.
Wait, my claw? My finger claw? That's huge.
Your fingernail as Mr. Elliot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there you go. Not that big.
There's a world difference.
Yes, I'm fully aware once I said it, and once you brought it up. And then, reaching the third and final stand of which you were able to loot, you find it as a weapon stand. These were crafted weapons, daggers, and various other small arms. You find several pistols. Gunpowder and ammunition available to you.
I'll bag it up, but I'll keep the gunpowder separate.
Good idea. I'm glad.
So how many pistols, gunpowder?
There is, allow me to roll, 7 pistols.
Holy crap.
2 daggers, 92 shots, which include both shot and gunpowder.
Yep, they're effectively cartridges, but in paper form. Paper pack, black powder, bullet.
Yep. And it's at this point that you surmise you have about 5 minutes left before whatever the shade said is going to happen.
How close is the shade to the Rhine Metal District?
About 5 minutes.
I'm going to alert the Emperor of the time.
The Emperor, looking down at the massive horde of people still trying to get out of the city, you still witness that the backup goes far from the Swarf District, still meeting about at the gate a little bit further than the gate of the Pinfeather District. Looking out, he looks down and says, "We're not going to be able to get everyone out in time."
Are your D&D games feeling stale, plain, or downright boring? Upgrade them today with beautiful landscapes, terrifying dungeons, wholesome inns, and vast forests. Draw your players into your own personal fantasy world with Arkenforge. Arkenforge.com provides hundreds of preloaded items for you to mix and match to fully customize your worlds. Use promo code CRITNIT to get $5 off your purchase today. That's CRITNIT. CRITNIT.
Hey everybody, this is Chris Cornish, your audiomancer for CritNit. I just want to take a little time out to ask you to do a couple of things for us. Find us on Twitter and follow us if you haven't already. We are at crit_n_it. Also, if you could please leave us a rating and review on iTunes or Google Podcasts or wherever else that you find us, it would help other people find us and get the story out to others. And speaking of the story, let's hop back into it.
We have to get them out. Order your soldiers to get them out. Have them push them out the gates if need be.
They're trying. We'll look at them. Any more force and we're going to start crushing the people.
Where is that airship?
At the moment, it is in the Steamtop District. Is heading, honestly, kind of in your direction over the Rhine Metal District.
Kruz, fly.
I'm going to it.
You're going to go to it?
Yep. Well, since Ghastgar decided to use my horns as a steering wheel and point me that way, I will.
Yank.
Okay.
Yank.
You guys begin to fly. The Silonara underneath you, shouting, "Where are you going?"
To redeem some people.
Leave me down here at least. I need to be with my people.
Nope, we need you.
Kruz.
Sire.
Royal idiot. They know what they're doing.
I have a feeling we're going to land there and talk to them, and you know damn well they're not going to listen to me. We need you.
You're as stubborn as ever, Kruz.
And you know I'm right.
That's what I hate about it. Ellanya, are you doing anything now?
How many people have I gotten out at this point? Is there still people around me, or are they out?
There's still a flood of people around you, far as you can see in both directions.
And how much longer do we have?
5 minutes.
I'm just gonna keep, for the moment being, until I get very close at timer ticking off, I'm gonna just keep helping people, throwing them on mine and Walter's back, and just, like, running as fast as I can to get them out of there.
Okay. Parker.
Essentially wherever Ellanya goes, because Ellanya has potentially important information that Parker would like to have, he would like to stay as close to Ellanya as possible.
Okay.
If I did a gust of wind, would they crash into buildings, or is it a pretty open area where they're at? Because if I did a gust of wind, I could actually shoot them closer towards that area.
The people?
But it could cause... Yeah!
Oh, jeez!
It'll push them 15 feet away from me. It's a 60 feet long, 10 feet wide.
Ooh!
So I could very well push them 15 feet faster into the direction that I want them to go.
Parker, if your mirthful leaps continue as you play, and Ellanya, if you're able to cast that wind corridor, people would effectively be able to glide, almost, down this corridor.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Wanna do that, Parker?
Yeah?
You wanna do that? Let's do that. And I have +7 to my spell abilities, so...
Okay. Well. Down the highway corridor, wind begins to just rush past everyone. A torrent, whipping hair around, loose clothing going absolutely everywhere. Everyone running faster and faster and faster. Parker, you're playing continuously to imbue the people around you with the mirthful leaps of the satyr. They, as they jump, catching wind now, you see one person, very thick clothing, long cloak, jump into the air, the cloak catching the wind, then grab the end of it and squirrel parachute fly over the heads of about 50 people up to the front before running into an old lady, getting up, helping her up, and then continuing on. You see a similar old lady now flying up above you, using her walking cane as a propeller, and continuing down the corridor.
It's like a weird granny's gone wild.
Yes. And at this, it seems as though at least several hundred more people are going to be getting out of here even faster. Vall, time is running out. You've gathered what you can. Are you going to try to rejoin the crowds and leave under that? Or what are you going to do?
Well, I'd like to reveal my secret check. I've been doing at every location.
Okay.
And this check has been perception. I've been listening.
And what are you listening for?
I'm listening for people. I'm listening for muted sounds. I'm listening for whimpering, crying, whatever have you, of people who've given up or whatnot.
Okay.
Vall has a heart.
As making these checks, you know that textile stand that you had found? That was absolutely made in the South of Sandlands. Not the greatest.
Yeah.
Beneath that, in the clothing, you do find a young woman, half-orc, sitting underneath there, dressed in the same clothing, just kind of muttering to herself, shaking her head, tears streaming down her face, not knowing what to do.
What are you doing?
She looks at you. What do you mean?
The city is evacuating. And you are here doing what? Feeling sorry for yourself? Get up, get out.
Roll a persuasion check. Or intimidation, depending on how you're doing this.
I will do persuasion because it is slightly less worse. Hey, that is a 21. That was not likely. Oofda.
Hearing the genuine nature of your voice, you see her kind of shake her head. But it cost me... Excuse me. But it cost me everything to get here. This stand is all I have. Without it, I don't know what else I don't have anything.
Madame, allow me to help you.
Okay.
Whom will then go to an adjacent shop, take its still burning lantern, and throw it inside of her shop.
What are you doing?
And now you have nothing. It is time for you to leave.
Why stay when you have nothing?
Seeing the iridescent burning flames of her stand, you see her kind of stop and look down at her hands. I suppose now I do have nothing. And it's time to get out of the city.
Good woman, I see you have taken the route of reason.
Thank you. I do. What's your name?
You may know of me as Huum.
Boom. Thank you.
Indeed. And, yeah, to make sure you get along with your way. Huum will hand her the gold bar.
She takes it, looks down at it,
Look, that is all you own now. Run very fast.
nods quickly, and continues to run. Good job.
Easy come, easy go.
That was very nice of you, Vall. Well done.
I don't know. It's almost like, I don't know. This is what I've been doing my whole life or something.
Very good.
I don't know if you realize this, Sawyer, but Southern Sandlands, there's not exactly a giant client list, so if you start killing them all off, no one will pay you.
This is true. This is true.
Money's like a cyclical thing.
Until they can print it out of Federal Reserve.
That's
Yep.
dumb. Paper money's a hoax.
It is.
The only thing worth any value is gold. Gold and silver.
Yep. Okay. Well,
I'm keeping that guy's shop, though. That land is mine.
fair enough.
When you find it later in the fracture.
Heck yeah. That would mean I would own the fracture. Which means I can pursue legal claims against the Silver Shade. Which means I can go get devils. And I'm not above this.
Oh my gosh.
And here is Vall revealing himself as the villain.
What? No,
Jeez.
no, I'm not a villain. I'm just getting legal aid from the experts.
That's the truest form of villainy.
Lawyers.
Hi, I'm a rogue warlock.
Lawyers. Ghastgar, Kruz. Flying over the rest of Hopel, you're able to make it. Okay. It's interesting. The airship, from what you had seen exiting the city, begins to circle back around and circle around the Rhine Metal District. Flying, you're able to reach it as you see the shade coming up closer and closer to the gate. At his slow hobble, you can surmise he'll be there in about a minute.
Are there any windows, in this ship?
Yes, there are several.
Do we see anyone other than Deodovan in it?
Flying and looking into it, you do not.
Do we see any Deodovan?
Yes. You see a crew set up and performing the tasks of keeping the airship aloft. Up top, you do see a well-dressed, very tight military-style Deodovan at the helm, shouting orders to people. One go there, one go there. And then you see him look over the railing and see you.
Is this airship like a giant blip with like a boat under it, or is it more like a blimp? Like, is there a place for me to land like on a deck?
Yes, the copper boat beneath is attached to a blimp where the large balloon of it, made of kind of this really tough canvas, keeps the rest of the ship aloft. Each one of the three masts kind of rise up and then turn into a ring that encircles each one around the blimp balloon itself and then ends in a mast up top and above it. Each one of them having ladders leading all the way up to the top, where you can see Deodovan performing movements on the sails themselves, orienting it, changing the direction as they continue to do. Propellers down below what you would see as the stern and the captain's quarters continuously let out a constant whir as steam rises from beneath the entirety of the ship.
I'm going to drop the Emperor and Ghastgar off there.
Okay.
Proceed to jump off the side of the airship, and I'm just going to shout, I'm going to go stall the Silvered Shade, and I'm going to fly straight for him.
Oh, Kruz is dead.
Or he was a jolly good...
Ghastgar, you have been dropped off by Kruz.
I take a closer look around. Does it look like there's any passenger area nearby?
There's a below deck. But on top of this, you see only Deodovan, and you see about 6 of them right now, performing various tasks.
Does this at all look like it would have been designed for carrying passengers, like mass transit?
It looks like a cargo ship of sorts.
Okay.
So it can carry people. It's designed for cargo, though.
I am going to walk right up to whoever is in charge, and as I begin to walk, I make eye contact with the Emperor and like nod head and like follow me, and be like, "Hey, did you bother getting any of the citizens on board other than your own folk?"
You see the captain look down at you.
Well, to be honest, we're here to watch the show.
And what particular show is that?
You see him walk to the edge of the airship and look over.
The ending of the Reinhardt family.
And this is when I look up and make eye contact with the Silonara again.
The Silonara looks down at you, looks back up at him.
I demand that you turn this ship down to the people of Hopel. You will be there. We will begin to ferry them away immediately.
The captain looks back.
Well, that's quite the order.
I'm going to look up to the Silonara. Honestly, I think it's time-wise, it is too late for that. I want you to look at me. And this is when Ghastgar is like vehemently mad, and also mad to the point of tears. Like, he is incredibly sad at the absolute hypocrisy and proving the point of the Silvered Shade. So with absolute anger and with tears, Silonara, there is not time. It is unfortunate, but people will die here today. And there is not anything more that we can do than what has been done. If we land this ship to try and board people on, they are likely to merely, all likely to merely just get consumed in whatever the fracture unleashes, or simply swallowed up by the fracture itself. And I turn to look at both of them, and both of you royal idiots are going to be needed to unite people and cause a sense of hope. But if you, turning to the Deodovan, make this moment all about some sick satisfaction of your political rivals being consumed in terror, then you are not somebody who could ever be a person that can look at themselves in the mirror and say they are for people. You are out for your own self-interest. You are worse than a pig ready for slaughter.
Well, strange mongoose. Ours pigs, you say? We will at least watch the pigs of the Reinhardts die first. We will watch our revenge come to fruition. And after that, we will make the world anew.
How close is this guy to the edge of whatever deck we're on?
Very close.
Is he within 15 feet?
Yes, he is.
Swiss, push.
Please roll to hit.
That would be an athletics check. To use the shove action.
No, it's not a shove. This is, I'm using my Eldritch, what is it called, technically? My
Eldritch Cannon?
No, yeah, Eldritch Cannon? Yeah, it's not Eldritch Burst. Yeah, Eldritch Cannon to, in its force cannon mode, to fire at him.
Okay.
And I've juiced it up with my Flash of Genius, because I'm really badly wanting this to hit. 18.
18 does hit.
Okay. On hit, the target takes 2d8 force damage, and if the target is a creature, is pushed up to 5 feet away from the cannon. Will that push him over?
Yep.
All right. Well, I will roll my 2d8. 6.
As the shot blasts from your cannon, he looks, surprise takes his face, as suddenly the blast hits him in the chest, shattering the guardrail behind. He is shoved through it and off the ship. And as he falls, shouting, all of the crew members look at you. Kruz, you land in front of the Silvered Shade.
God, I got there quick.
Yep. He is continuing his slow shamble towards the gate. You are between him and the gate.
I'm going to bow in front of him, and I'm going to say, I'm here to plead on your mercy to give us more time. We need more time to get the people out.
The corridor will remain open, but the fracture will be here.
I understand, but the lives of the people are important. We need the time.
You need unification.
We can't have unification without time.
And I have given you a year.
You've given us an hour. You know damn well that we didn't figure anything out until just now.
Correct. I determined this date long ago. No amount of pleading is going to give you more time this day. These people, defend them if you will. I will not slay them all.
No, only the ones that don't bend to your will, correct?
Only the ones who are killed by the beasts.
Has he stopped walking to talk to me?
Nope. As you surmise, you have about 30 seconds before he reaches the gate.
I'm trying to think of what we can do to buy a little more time.
25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17.
I need more
16,
time. Help us.
15, 14, 13, 12.
Kruz is going to launch
11,
back into the air, heading
10,
straight for the
9,
airship.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Thank you all for listening. I hope you enjoyed. And remember, never stop telling stories.
Sir, juicing is illegal and unsportsmanlike.
Oh my gosh, this spider has just been like walking along the corner of my wall, and now he's on the painting in front of me.
Catch him.
Give him a fly. Call him your friend.
Why are you not burning your house down? Move out. Burn it all down. Sawyer's dead.
Sawyer, your background completely overwrites anything that is not people.